Last time on our fascinating planet, lightning struck man, and a man struck lightning with a kite. Energy changed the face of the Earth, while man faced the change of the Earth, all under a bright, burning planet in the sky called the Sun, which ultimately brought mankind face to face with his own potential to burn another planet, one we call the Earth.
Perhaps there is no brighter force in the known universe than light. This bewitching, scintillating enigma illuminates every corner of the known cosmos. But what is light? Well, it's all around us, like air or sexual tension, an inextricable part of everything we do and have and are and see.
And we know it is our greatest form of energy. To understand what light is, we must look into it, literally, to see what it is made of. Of course, this is difficult, because when you look directly at light, much like a dog or a common criminal, it is liable to hurt you. But once scientists were able to look into light using a combination of powerful telescopes and even more powerful sunglasses, we discovered a fascinating world within this shining form of energy.
Energy comes in many forms, or as we like to call it, waves. The smallest waves are, of course, microwaves, which are made of micros.
And these micros, or atoms as they are sometimes called, are the building blocks of light. So what exactly are these atoms? Well, an atom is essentially a microscopic atmosphere of electrically charged storm clouds, and at its very center lies a tiny earthlet. The clouds rotate around the earthlet and bombard it constantly with minuscule lightning bolts. These tiny storms are what give the atom energy, and also make it glow. And so today we know that since all objects contain atoms, all objects contain light. Trees, cars, people, and even water. In fact, light can even be found in something as simple as a potato.
We're all familiar with the science fair experiment where a kid powers a clock with a potato. But we don't really have a grasp on how much energy there is inside of a potato. I mean, think about it. A potato is powered by what? Potato atoms, or potatoms, which are some of the strongest atoms there are.
Once micros were discovered, scientists began to think about how to unleash all of the pre-captured potential energy from the objects around us. The problem was to find a way of extracting the micros from those objects. And the solution would come from a nightclub singer turned inventor named Thomas Jefferson Edison. Edison, having recently invented the record player to help him practice his singing at home, was working on a patent for a glass listening helmet to go with his new player. One day, when he accidentally made one of his glass helmets too small, Edison had a breakthrough. He thought that maybe if he put one of the large hoop earrings from his stage costume upside down into the small glass helmet and hooked up wires to the earring, it might create a small lightning storm inside the glass helmet, which would cause the micros in the upside down earring to release light. And that's exactly what happened. And so the light bulb was born, and with it, a whole new era of energy began. Light was used to power lamps, trains, homes, and wars. And it was even used to save lives. But light,
Like any good parent, it can just as easily extinguish the life it gives.
and so, lying deep within the positive energy of light's illuminated micros, there was a negative, dark energy waiting to be released.
Light is very dangerous if you wait long enough. A light will kill you.
Unsatisfied with the energy they'd harnessed from atoms, power-greedy scientists decided to split open one of these atoms to extract all of the energy from the core of its earthlet. And when they did, still, despite this danger and the constant threat of nuclear annihilation, man has succeeded in capturing energy from light in all its various forms.
Light is neutral. It's all about what we make of it. Light can be used for dark purposes. I remember seeing a film years ago called Superman 4, Quest for Peace, where they used the light to create a sun man, a horrible sun man, a villain made of the sun's rays. This is a terrible villain. These are choices that we make as humans, but the light itself is neutral. It's a neutral tool. It's as neutral as the wind, although the wind's pretty scary.
Now, it's one thing to capture energy, but what's the point in capturing it if you have no way of containing it? Which is to say, how do you keep energy? I'm talking about storing it. What's the point in having a child if you have no home from which to keep it escaping from?
And so, mankind invented one such home that today can be found in everything from living room propellers to home sex machines. It's called the battery, a metal shell containing a tiny lightning generator that stores enough energy to kill a porpoise. But how does a battery work? Each battery is made up of tiny storm-generating components, which, when combined, create an explosive batter, a viscous lightning, hence the name battery. On the side of its metal shell, a positive sign and a negative sign, a humble reminder of both the awesome positive and negative power always looming below light's surface. Once placed into the proper holder, the batter within the battery receives a charge and starts to produce lightning, which in turn gives off energy. Energy that can then power something as essential as a child's semi-automatic water weapon.
Storing energy enables us to use it anytime we want, like a donkey or a prostitute. And our modern world is evidence of mankind having done just that. We use energy today in so many myriad varieties of ways. You could say, energy has powered all of man's greatest hits.
As we look at the world today, it's hard not to be impressed with what we've done as a species, taking the Earth and using its resources to create fantastic feats of energy utilization, from lightning all the way down to potatoes.
Look at her go.
The latest craze, green energy, is an ingenious way to harness the planet's natural energy. And it makes sense because it turns out the Earth contains in its core the very same viscous lightning that we put into batteries. It's a natural form of lightning batter called lava.
The Earth is basically the biggest battery we have. It's constantly expending energy, just doing what it does. So we've discovered that if we simply get in its way when it's trying to do something like blow wind or shine sun, we can basically take that energy for free.
Thanks to impressive new technologies like wind propellers, sun magnets, and river motors, we are finally really starting to take our fragile planet's free energy.
Here's a very effective metaphor. It's like stepping in front of someone who's on their way to the bank and just grabbing their wallet. But let's say it's like an infinitely rich person and they go to the bank every day because they have so much money to deposit. So our planet is like that very rich guy on his way to the bank, and we're stepping in front of it and saying, freeze, you dirty pig, give me your wallet, and if you tell anybody you saw my face, I'm gonna kill you. And then you take the wallet, you just take the cash and then throw it at rest in the gutter.
Today, we are robbing the Earth in smarter and more creative ways, taking the light and energy it has stored for centuries and using it in the blink of an eye.
Fossil fuel, what is it? What is it made of? It's basically rich, dense dinosaur bones converted into liquid dinosaur paste to make oil. And that's how we have electrical cars.
The future is full of possibilities, but will they be light or dark? Perhaps it is not light or energy that contains great positive and negative forces within, but instead, it is man. Maybe it is we who, like the very batteries we have created out of the lightning we have stolen, should be mindful of the positive and negative signs on our own metal shells. Next time on our fascinating planet.
Not only can light give light, but it can also bounce. Let me show you an example. Let's pretend this is the sun and my palm is the earth. You see, it bounces off my hand and gives light all around.